Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing our conversation on adjacent vertical, supplementary, and complementary angles, but now we are going to be adding variables onto that. So let's get started. So our objective for today is I will be able to identify and solve adjacent, vertical, supplementary, and complementary angle problems with variables. So we are just adding on from what we learned about, but adding variables in instead. So our vocabulary is just a repeat of the vocabulary of what we've talked about before, but we just want to make sure that we really understand it. So vertical angles are two angles that are opposite of each other and are congruent. And remember, congruent is the same thing as equal. So these two angles right here, the ones with the smiley faces, do you see how they're opposite of each other? They're opposite, that means they're vertical pair. They're a vertical angle pair. So these two smiley faces are equal. The ones without smiley faces are a different angle pair. They're the different measurement, but they are the same to each other. Okay, complementary angles when the sum of two angles equal 90. So we have a 90-degree angle right here with a ray coming out of the middle, breaking it up into two. So this angle plus this angle equals 90 degrees. And then supplementary angles when the sum of two angles equal 180. So 180 is a straight line. Okay, this angle right here and this angle right here add up together to equal that straight line, or to equal 180. So let's take a look, our vertical angles. So this first example right here is one that we have done before, okay? Maybe not exactly, but a similar problem to what we've done before. So 120 degrees, and we want to know what angle A is equal to. Well, because these two angles, 120 degrees and angle A are vertical angles, or they're congruent, or they're equal, we know that angle A is equal to 120 degrees. That's it. The only math that we really had to do was just knowing the vocabulary, right? We didn't have to do anything else. Angle A is the same as congruent to 120, or it's 120 degrees. All right, let's take a look at this one. We're going to use the same logic that 30 is equal to 6x. So let's write that down. 30 is equal to 6x. Now, I could ask two different questions with this problem. I could say find the value of x, or I could say if I label this angle 1 and label this number angle 2, I could say find angle 1's measure. Okay, so I can ask you two different things. All right, because if I asked you angle 1's measurement, you already would know that, because you know that angle 2 is a vertical angle to number 1, so we already know that it's equal to 30. But how do I know what x is? Well, I just simply solve this equation. So divide both sides by 6. 30 divided by 6 is 5 is equal to x. So x is equal to 5. 5 times 6 is 30. That equals the angle 1. All right, we're going to use the same logic, but it's going to be just a little bit more hands-on. Not harder, but just a little bit more steps. All right, so we have a vertical angle pair, 2 and 3, and it says the angle 2 is equal to 4x minus 26, and the measurement of angle 3 is equal to 3x plus 4. Okay, so same thing, we're going to set them equal to each other. So 4x minus 26 is equal to 3x plus 4. Okay, now this is a little bit different than what we've seen so far. So how do you think we're going to solve this? Well, the first thing that we want to do is get the variables on one side. Okay, so I'm going to move this 3x over to 4x just so we don't have to mess with negative numbers. I know how much we dislike working with negative numbers, so I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Draw my line, subtract 3x from both sides. 4x minus 3x is just x. So x minus 26 is equal to, these canceled out, is equal to 4. Now it's just like a one-step equation that you've seen before. You add 26 to both sides. That leaves us with x is equal to 4 plus 26 is 30. There we go. So x is equal to 30. Now, if I were to ask you what are the angle measurements of 2 and 3, we would need to use that x, that information that we just found, that x, and solve to figure it out. Okay, so we are going to use that x and we're going to plug it into one of the equations, and we'll just use the first one. So to find the angle measurement, we need to plug it in. So 4 times, instead of writing x, so you see what I'm doing right here, I'm using this equation right here and I'm just writing it down, but instead of writing x, I'm going to write 30 because x is equal to 30. So 4 times 30 minus 26. Okay, so 4 times 30 is 90. Oh, I'm sorry, it is not 90. It is 120. I misspoke, so sorry. 120. Okay, and then 120 minus 26, and 120 minus 26 is 94. So we know that both sides, angles 2 and 3, are equal to 24 because they're vertical angles. We don't need to check both, but if we were to check that one, we would get 94 as well. So there we go. That's how we solve vertical angles. Now don't worry, we will be doing more practice of that come to class, but we're going to get moving on to complementary angles now. So complementary angles, remember that complementary angles are two angles that equal 90 degrees. So with this one, we would just simply go 90 equals C plus 56. Subtract 56 from both sides. So C is equal to 34. Because 90 minus 56 is 34. Okay, that's how you would do it with just one variable. Easy peasy. Those are the ones we have been doing. Now let's take a look at this one right here. 6x plus 4 is one of the side lengths, 32 is the other, and we know from this box right here that this is a 90-degree angle. Okay, so let's take a look. 90 degrees is equal to 32 plus 6x plus 4. Okay, you see what I just did there? I added 6x plus 4 and 32 together. It doesn't matter which order they go in as long as they are being added together. Alright, so now let's solve. So 90 equals, combine like terms, 32 plus 4 is 36 plus 6x. Okay, I just combined like terms. Alright, now we have 90 equal to 36 plus 6x. I just rewrote it. Okay, I need to solve for x now, so subtract both sides by 36. Okay, 6x, these cancel out. 6x is equal to 54. 90 minus 36 is 54. Divide both sides by 6. The 6's cancel out. X is equal to 54 divided by 6 is 9. So if I were to ask you what is the value of x, you would be able to tell me 9. Now, I want to know what this angle measurement is. We already know that this one's 32. Well, what about the angle measurement? Well, now we simply 6, substitute that 9 in for x, so 6 times 9 plus 4. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 4 is equal to 58. Right? So this side right here is equal to 58. We can check ourselves too, because 58 plus 32 is 90. So we know we did our work. Let's do one more example with complementary. Alright, so same thing, we know that this is a 90-degree angle, so 90 is equal to, we're going to add these two angles together. 4 plus 2x, that's this one right here, plus 3x plus 1. That's this angle right here. Next, combine like terms. 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5x. Subtract both sides by 5. We have 85 is equal to 5x. Divide both sides by 5. We have x is equal to 17. Right, so we know that x is equal to 17, but we want to know how the value of each angle. So now we're going to want to actually check our work. So let's just start with this top one right here. 4 plus 2 times 17. Oops. Ah, no. Alright, I'm just going to restart this, just that one little page. Okay, just this one little, or check our work. If you need to rewind to go back to get the other work, be my guest. Alright, so we have 4 plus 2 times 17. I apologize for that, I accidentally hit a button on my pen. So 4 plus 2 times 17 is 51. I'm sorry, 2 times 17 is 34. 4 plus 34 is 38. So we know that this angle right here is equal to 38. Okay, now let's check our other one. 3 times 17 plus 1. 3 times 17 is 52, plus 1 is equal to 53. So we know this angle is 53. Right? 53 plus 38 is equal to 90. We know we did our job. Right, now let's move on to supplementary angles. All right, so first things first, let's look at our example that we already know how to do. This one right here, we're given 42, we want to find t. So 180 is equal to 42 plus t. Subtract both sides by 42. Okay, t is equal to, we have 138. Oops, 138. All right, now let's move on to one that's a little bit more challenging. We have 180 is still equal to 180, but now we need to add together these two. 4 plus 5x plus x plus 2. 180 is equal to, combine like terms, 4 plus 2 is 6, and 5x plus x is 6x. Okay, now we subtract both sides by 6. We have 174 is equal to 6x. Divide both sides by 6, and we have x is equal to 29. Okay, so now that's how x is equal to, but now we need to make sure that we know what each angle measurement is equal to. So now let's check or figure out that angle measurement. So we have the first one right here. We're going to do 4 plus 5 times 29. Okay, 4 plus 5 times 29. Okay, and we have, alright, so 5 times 29 is equal to 145. We keep that. 4 plus 145 is equal to 149. So we know that this one right here is equal to 149. Okay, now we have x plus 2, so we have 29 plus 2 is equal to 31. So this one right here is 31. Okay, so you see we are starting to use expressions and equations in geometry as well. Last example that we're going to do before your U-try problem. Alright, so we have to set this equal to 180 is equal to x plus 10 plus 3x plus 18. Okay, combine like terms. So we have x plus 3x is equal to 4x plus 10 plus 18 is 28. Subtract 28 from both sides. We have 4x is equal to 152. Okay, divide both sides by 4, and we get x is equal to 38. Okay, when you substitute in 38 into your equation, you have 38 plus 10, so 38 plus 10 is equal to 48. So angle 1 is equal to 48. And then we have 3 times 38 plus 18. 3 times 38 is 114, plus 18 is equal to 132. So angle 2 is equal to 132 degrees. Alright, so now take a second. I would like you to try these. I don't know is not an acceptable answer because you have 3 examples of both on how to figure it out. So go back and rewatch the video if you need to. Try your best, and then we will be going over these 2 examples in class tomorrow. If you have any questions whatsoever, please write them down so then I can address them in class. Thank you so much for taking great notes and being good listeners, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.